Hi, and welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Linda McNamee, in for Phil Gallagher. A motor vehicle accident involving a building caused major damage to a Burlington liquor store, but fortunately resulted in no injuries. The liquor cabinet at 32 Wynn Street reported on Facebook that at approximately 10 a.m. on Saturday, an elderly woman drove her vehicle into the building. The crash cracked the brick wall and set a glass door off its hinge. The store said on social media that inside the building, the damage was extreme. Every nip, pint, and liter that was on the shelves came crashing onto the floor. Bottles broke, sending liquor all over, and glass shattered. One employee, manager Steve Tomeo, had to jump over the counter to avoid being struck during the crash. The statement said nobody was injured in the incident. If you need to have a water meter replaced but cannot make time to meet a Department of Public Works employee during business hours, you can now get a service during off hours for a fee. On Monday night, the Board of Selectmen approved a request from DPW Director John Sanchez to set up a fee structure for off-hour work at homes and businesses for water meter replacements. The fee would be limited to a high of $250 and would go toward paying the overtime wages of the employees during the work. It will only be charged to residents and businesses looking for work off hours. Sanchez said he needed the approval from the board to get the fee structure made official. He said that though it is technically termed a fee, it's actually a service that was previously unavailable. Some people and businesses can't miss work to meet workers coming to their homes during regular business hours, and now they can schedule a meter replacement for odd times. This includes nights and weekends. This is not an issue that will come up often for most people. Sanchez said that at normal water use, a meter should last up to 10 years. However, some people use enough water to wear out their meters in 3 to 5 years. In recent weeks, a number of people have spotted coyotes in Burlington neighborhoods. To find out more and to perhaps dispel some misperceptions people may have, BNews Director Rich Hosford went to talk with a local expert. He has this report.
Coyote and coyote pup sightings reported in Burlington in the last few weeks. Some people have expressed alarm about the presence of the animal, so I went down to the Burlington Police Department to speak with Animal Control Officer Jerry Mills about what, if any, are the dangers. He started by explaining that an increase in coyote activity in the early summer is natural.
This time of year, there's a lot of increased coyote activity. They've just had their pups recently, and they're all playing with their pups, teaching their pups how to hunt. They also need a lot of extra nutrition being young. So there is an increase in call volume regarding the coyote population. People are seeing more of them. It's perfectly normal this time of year. We see a lot of increase in phone calls regarding coyotes this time of year.
Officer Mills said there are some misperceptions out there about coyotes and the dangers they pose to humans.
The biggest misconception is that people see them out during the day and they think that they shouldn't be out during the day. Coyotes are active day and night, most active dusk and dawn. That's when they prefer to hunt. So everybody calls, first thing they say right away, it must be sick, it's out, it's daytime, oh my God. One of the other misconceptions might be people think that coyotes are going to go after people, and they don't. It's very, very rare, extremely rare. In the state of Massachusetts, probably in the last 50, 60 years, there's been probably less than 10 documented incidents involving people and coyotes, and there's usually underlying circumstances. The animal may have rabies, or there might be other reasons for it, such as there was one case, I believe, where a coyote was taken into captivity as a puppy. They tried to raise it, and when the animal got older and natural instincts took over, it got a little hard for them to handle. They released it to the wild. And then the coyote associated with people, didn't have a fear with people, went to people for food, and of course that's never a good thing when they don't have their natural fears, which coyotes fear people, they don't want to be around people, and they won't bother your animals, your pets, if you're with them.
Though coyotes will avoid humans and large dogs, Officer Mills said smaller animals can be seen as food for a hunting coyote.
Small pet unattended, such as a cat or a very small dog, they see it as prey, and they will go after it. They don't know the difference between a domestic animal and you know, a rabbit or a squirrel or whatever. So they just see it as an opportunity for food. But if you're with your pet, they will not bother your pet or you.
Officer Mills suggests that small animals not be left unattended and, if possible, make cats indoor pets. There are also some preventive steps people can take to ensure they aren't attracting coyotes to their yards.
So, you know, if you want to deter coyotes from coming around, make sure you cover your trash, burn off excess food off your grill, any odors, food odors, things. Do not feed your pets outside. If you have bird feeders, I'd suggest that you put them out along the tree line if you have to have them. Bird feeders attract squirrels, squirrels attract coyotes, as well as other animals. So just some common sense things.
If you see a coyote near your property, you can also try to scare it away and make it know it's not a welcome visitor.
Make yourself big, yell, scream, bang on a pan, throw something at them, let them know they're not welcome. You want to haze them. You want them to know that, you know, they shouldn't get comfortable around people. You want them to know not to come around people, know that they're not welcome. And if you do all those things, you should be fine, and your pet should be fine.
Finally, Officer Mills explains what to do if you encounter a coyote while out for a walk or hanging around outdoors.
Don't panic, don't run. If you have pets on a leash and with you, there should be no need for concern. You can slowly turn and walk away. It's very unlikely the coyote would come after you. It may follow you. If it follows you, it's probably just trying to lead you away from its den. Probably has pups there. And it's not going to chase you. It's going to follow you from a distance. And when it feels you're far enough away from its den or its pups, it's going to turn around and go back to where it came from. If you have a small dog, maybe pick it up, walk away calmly. It would be very unlikely that the coyote is going to go after you or your dog. It's just, it is not what they do.
At the Burlington Police Department, I'm BNEWS Director Rich Hosford.
Thank you, Rich. The Burlington Department of Public Works is keeping busy this summer with a wide range of projects. At Monday night's Board of Selectmen meeting, DPW Director John Sanchez gave the board an update on ongoing and upcoming projects undertaken and contracted out by the department. He said the biggest upcoming project will be renovations on the Wayside Road sewer system. This project will include replacing and repairing sewer pipes and replacing manhole covers. Sanchez said the project is necessary to prevent sewer main breaks, similar to ones that happened in the area a couple of years ago. Work is set to start in the next few weeks, and the whole project will take 6 months, though the work on the Wayside portion should only take a couple of months. To lessen the impact of motorists, most of the work will take place at night. This will also be less interference for local businesses, restaurants, and people looking to access Leahy Hospital. Anyone interested in learning more about the details of the project can attend an information meeting on Wednesday, July 19th at 6 p.m. in the Town Hall Annex basement meeting room. The DPW's new salt shed project is also getting close to being underway. Sanchez said this site will help ensure the town always has the materials needed to work, including during snow and ice removal. He said in the past decades, there have been times when salt was in short supply and the town was in danger of running out. Sanchez said that they went through the permitting process and have awarded the contract to Construction Dynamics out of Clinton. Finally, the switch from standard to LED bulbs in all streetlights is underway. Sanchez said about half the town has been completed and the rest should be converted in the next couple of months. He added that the lights will better illuminate the roads and save on electricity costs. The Burlington Police Department held an active shooter training session last week at Grandview Farms. The session taught officers from multiple communities about preparing for an active shooter in malls and other local places. BNews reporter Robert Paris went to check it out and has this report.
It's a scenario nobody likes to think about, but that first responders need to be ready for. An active shooter in a public place injuring and killing members of the public. Last week, the Burlington Police Department held an active shooter training session at Grandview Farm to prepare for just such an instance.
It's a tabletop exercise, which is something where it's scenario driven, and in this particular tabletop, which is being sponsored by the Executive Office of Public Safety through NARAC, which is the Regional Homeland Security, is a scenario of an active shooter at the Burlington Mall. So we brought in addition to Burlington, public safety, police, fire, the DPW, because they'd be needed in something like that. We've got officers from the contiguous communities, along with personnel from the Leahy, from the mall, obviously, ambulance personnel, because if you ever had a critical incident at the mall, whether it be a shooter or something else, or at any facility in town, really, I shouldn't pinpoint the mall, it would be all hands on deck, and you would be relying on your partners in neighboring communities.
The session taught officials about many scenarios of where and when an active shooter can take place and how to prepare for them.
Some of the things that we try to do is to exercise the existing plans that are in place to deal with an active shooter. This is something that Burlington and all the public safety agencies, as well as the mall, has thought quite a bit about. So they do have plans in place. The idea of this exercise is to test those plans, to one, validate what they do, but most importantly, to identify any gaps in those plans. We know that no plan is perfect, and what we want to do is validate those gaps, refine those plans, and make their response even stronger after this exercise.
Lieutenant Glenn Mills attended the session, and he thought it had a great turnout.
What we've been working on for several years now is just being prepared for any kind of incident or emergency. So we've done a lot of things, such as the standard response protocol. We've had our schools all adopt that. We're hoping all of our businesses in town will adopt that. We've worked on our own readiness and preparedness. We conduct very small-scale drills, and we've done some bigger exercises at the Burlington Mall and at the Leahy Clinic. We've gone out, we've done training for employees at businesses in town and locations in town. We're willing to do that anytime. And we're hoping that, nothing will ever happen. That's our main goal. But if anything ever does, we're going to be very well prepared for it.
Finally, Chief Kent hopes that the surrounding communities have taken something away from the training session.
Our department, we train a lot for situations like this, but you can never have too much practice. And I'm hoping our neighboring communities will be able to walk away in a better position. And again, if we have a critical incident, the mall, the Leahy, one of our high-tech businesses in town, we will be in a better position to respond and hopefully save lives, because that's the bottom line. This is all to protect the public and save lives.
From Grandview Farm, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. Anyone in need of services from Burlington Veterans Agent or the Board of Health Department should be aware those two offices have undergone a temporary change of location. They are now located at the former Bay Path College offices in the back of Burlington High School. The change was made while work is being done on the Human Services building. Once that work and the project on Center Street are completed, then Youth and Family Services will move to the newly renovated former bank at 33 Center Street, and Veterans Services and the Health Department will move back into Human Services. The project should take between 6 months and a year to complete. Many people enjoy fresh produce, but don't always know where it comes from. One greenhouse company out of Canada is trying to change that with a mobile greenhouse used to educate the public. It stopped by Burlington last week, and BNews reporter Robert Paris was there. He has this look.
If you stopped by Wegmans last Thursday, then you probably noticed a big mobile greenhouse filled with fresh vegetables and plants. This greenhouse is none other than the Nature Fresh Farms Greenhouse Education Center.
We're a family-owned farm. We're located in Leamington, Ontario. We started 17 years ago. We have 130 acres of greenhouses. We are also currently building another 180 acres of greenhouses in Delta, Ohio, which is 20 miles west of Toledo. Currently, 45 acres is in operation. That's where we grow the Ohio red tomatoes. And that operation goes all year round. Whereas our Ontario operation shuts down for a couple months in the winter.
The farm grows a variety of vegetables that they sell throughout the United States and Canada.
We grow cucumbers, English cucumbers. We grow tomatoes, various varieties, and we grow bell peppers.
Nature Fresh Farms has an interesting and unique way of growing their vegetables.
We don't use soil. We use coconut fibers, which the coconut has ground up. That's how we give the roots some stability, and it's easier for the roots to draw out what we feed them. We feed them the water and their liquid nutrients. Another thing that's really important we want to stress is we try very hard not to use any pesticides. We use good bugs to eat the bad bugs. Now, I can't pronounce the names of most of them, Mike, but I do know that the ladybugs, they eat aphids, they eat trips, and they eat spider mites.
The greenhouse also brings technology to agriculture.
Now, because everything is controlled by the computer at our operation, we can grow 22 times as many cucumbers as they can in the same space in the field, 14 times as many tomatoes, and 10 times as many peppers. Because we always have perfect growing conditions. There's always perfect humidity, perfect temperature. We're always getting the proper nutrients.
The company uses a friendly black and yellow friend to pollinate their plants.
Now, normally out in the field, the wind will pollinate the flowers for you. Being that we're in the greenhouse, we don't have any wind, so we use bumblebees. We've got about 900 bumblebee hives with over 100 bees in each one. But they fly around freely in our greenhouse. They're not aggressive. They're native to North America. They won't bite or sting unless you really hit them, but they just work and they don't bother anybody, but they pollinate all the flowers for us.
To share the knowledge about their agricultural technology, they set out on an ambitious tour with their mobile greenhouse to visit potential customers throughout the United States and Canada.
We are currently now on a 7-month tour. We're going to be in about a dozen different states and provinces at 175 different locations, stores that sell our product. We also do schools. We're going to be at the Ohio State Fair this year, and we're going to be at the Toronto Royal Winter Fair. We're going to travel 35,000 miles this year.
Finally, each of the members shared what they hope people will take away from the Nature Fresh Farm products.
For me, it's about just showing people where their food actually comes from, because a lot of people don't really know, especially kids. There was one lady who I actually talked to last week who said kids think that chocolate milk comes from chocolate cows, and I was like, that is actually a perfect statement. So that's my reason for being here, and that's what I hope people get out of it.
Yeah, consumers are very savvy now, so they want to know what's going on with their food. So what we do is we come out here and we're sharing with them where their food comes from, why is it grown, how is it grown, really giving them more of an idea of like what's going on with their produce.
From Wegmans, I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
Thank you, Robert. If you're interested in more, check out Nature Fresh's website at naturefresh.ca. The special state election to fill the 4th Middlesex District State Senate seat left vacant by the passing of the late State Senator Ken Donnelly is next week, and voters in Burlington should be aware of the changing of the poll location. The polls, which will be held in the Burlington High School cafeteria rather than the school gymnasium. Residents can park in the lot behind the school with the graffiti wall and enter through the doors pictured here. Also, for voters who cannot make it to the polls, absentee ballots are now available at the town clerk's office. The application deadline is Monday, July 24th at noon. Voters unable to vote at the polls on Election Day due to absence from the town during the hours the polls are open, physical disability, or religious belief are eligible for an absentee ballot. To apply, voters or one of their family members must turn in a written request to the town clerk's office by the deadline. Voters may apply and vote in person at the town clerk's office or through the mail. Hospitalized voters must have been admitted after noon on the 5th day before the election, the notice from the town clerk states. They must apply themselves and designate in writing who may hand carry the ballot to them. Applications can be made anytime. However, the ballot must be returned by the close of the poll. The town clerk's office opens at 8:30 a.m. on Monday. The polls for the special election will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, July 25th in the Burlington High School cafeteria. Fire Chief Steve Yetman said he is proud to announce that their 3 new Members of the Burlington Fire Department graduated today from the 255th class of the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy after a 50-day intensive career recruit firefighter training program. Joshua Carabello, Jesse Ribeiro, and Preston Angelucci were among the 36 graduates at a ceremony at the Massachusetts Fire Academy in Stowe. Yetman said today's firefighters are called upon to respond to a wide variety of emergencies and must be able to proficiently perform more tasks than ever before. He said, "We are extremely fortunate in Massachusetts to have such a vital resource in the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy, turning out professional, prepared firefighters after each session." The Massachusetts Firefighting Academy, a division of the Department of Fire Services, offers this program tuition-free. The ceremony took place at the Department of Fire Services in Stowe. Yetman said today's firefighters do far more than fight fires. They are the first ones called to respond to chemical and environmental emergencies, ranging from suspected presence of carbon monoxide to a gas leak. They may be called to rescue a child who has fallen through the ice or who has locked himself in a bathroom. They rescue people from stalled elevators and those who are trapped in vehicle crashes. They test and maintain their equipment, including self-contained breathing apparatus, hydrants, hoses, power tools, and other apparatus. At the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy, they learn all these skills and more from certified fire instructors who are also experienced firefighters. Students learn all their basic skills they need to respond to fires and to contain and control them. They are also given training in public fire education, hazardous material incident mitigation, flammable liquids, stress management, confined space rescue techniques, and rappelling. The intensive 10-week program for municipal firefighters involves classroom instruction, physical fitness training, firefighter skills training, and live firefighting practice. A Burlington Town employee was recently recognized for his dedicated work for the community. Burlington Town Archivist Daniel McCormick was honored at a recent New England Archivist Spring Conference with the Distinguished Service Award. A release from Town Clerk Amy Warfield states, "First awarded in 1990, the New England Archivist's Distinguished Service Award is given to a nominee dedicated to the promotion of New England Archivists' objectives and who has made significant contributions to the profession and their institution." Daniel has been the archivist in Burlington since 2002. He works with all the town departments in handling documents that are old and new. It's been a hot and humid week, but what's in store for the days ahead? We go now to BNEWS meteorologist Peter Brown in our Weather Center for the latest forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Ian Casiola to see what's happening in Burlington.
Well, hello everyone, and this is Peter Brown with a look at your weather for the upcoming weekend. Here we are, can you believe it? We are into the third week in July, July 20th. Isn't that something else? Can't believe we are really in the heart of summer right now. As we start out our period on Thursday, that's definitely going to be reflected in our temperatures. Look at these high temperatures on Thursday that we're expecting. Temperatures in the low 90s, and it's going to be pretty humid out there. So if you have any plans to go outside, you're going to be out in your garden, going to be taking any walks around the lake, going to the beach, keep in mind it is going to be hot and very sticky out there, so it's really going to feel like the dog days of summer coming up, that's for sure. As you can see, our low temperatures at night staying way up in the 60s to near 70s, so you're definitely going to either need your air conditioning or a fan on at night, that's for sure. Not going to be very comfortable for sleeping for the first part of our period, that's for sure. But look at this, again, we're going to see temperatures, much higher than average to start out our period, almost 10 degrees above our average high of 82. So that's something else. We're really in summer, that's for sure. As you notice right here, we still have some nice long days right now. The days are getting a little bit shorter. You probably have already started to notice the mornings, actually. The sun is actually coming up much later than it was back in early June. So we are on that side of the hill right now, but we have some beautiful weather coming up. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going to be going on with our weather for the next 7 to 10 days about. And what's going to be going on with us here in the Burlington area is we're going to have a low-pressure center that's going to kind of get stuck over southeastern Canada. At the same time, there's going to be a very strong Bermuda high that's going to be off to our southeast out over the Atlantic. Now, this is going to cause a little bit of a bottleneck in terms of weather that's going to be moving from the Midwest into our region, especially as we get on towards Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, for the first half of the period, getting into the rest of the weekend, we're going Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to see fair skies, chance of some spotty showers and thunderstorms here and there, but mostly sunny. If you're going off to the beach or anything, again, be mindful. You're going to have some very high temperatures. It's going to be very warm out there. But as we get towards about along Monday into Tuesday, we're looking at this weak area of low pressure moving in from the Midwest coming into our area. And again, with this little bit of bottleneck here in the atmosphere, we're going to see the chance of some more organized showers and thunderstorms by the time we get especially into Tuesday and Wednesday. So keep that in mind as you get to the end of the period to be on the lookout for a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity. As we move ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about our precip and temps coming up for the next 10 days or so. Now look at this up here in New England and in the Burlington area. They're expecting it to be below average in terms of rainfall for the next 7 to 10 days. That's something that we definitely haven't seen too much of this year. It's actually almost the exact opposite of last summer. It's been so wet this summer as opposed to extremely dry last year. And looks like we're going to start drying out a little bit, so that might be a little bit of good news for your plants and for your grass, just to get, a little bit of the chance of mold out of there. So that's something we have to be on the lookout too for in the summer. As we go ahead, I'm going to show you a little bit about our temps, and this is going to be something that we've seen a little bit of this year, but looking as we get especially towards the end of the period, looks like the National Weather Service is calling for us to have much below average temperatures as we get towards the 25th and 26th of July. So that's something to be on the lookout. That means we're going to have some cooler weather, but actually some very pleasant conditions coming up, that's for sure. And as we go ahead and we're going to be looking at our 7-day forecast, you're going to be seeing some of these really nice conditions that we're going to be having for the next week or so. Again, starting out with our temperatures Thursday and Friday, see temperatures around 90, maybe even a little bit higher, up towards 91, 92 degrees, with quite a bit of humidity around, and that's going to start to break as we get in towards Saturday. You see temperatures a little bit more cloud cover, temperatures in the mid-80s, still a little bit on the humid side, but then a front's going to pass by us on Sunday, and that's going to start to kick our temperatures down a little bit, especially as we get in towards Monday. Look at this. Temperatures Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in the mid and upper 70s, so some really pleasant temperatures for the end of July. And look at this as we get towards the end of the week here. Some really nice overnight low temperatures. So if you have to be out at all, you're going to have some really comfortable conditions. Again, keep in mind we're going to have that chance of some spotty showers and thunderstorms around the middle of the period starting Sunday, going into Monday and Tuesday. So folks, I hope you get out there and enjoy this great stretch of weather that we come up, and have a great week and a great weekend.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Nicole.
And we're here to remind you about summer reading at the Burlington Public Library. Our programs, Reading a World of Fantasy and Fantastic Reads, begin July 6th. And you can earn prizes for reading. Open to children from birth through high school, we have a little something for everyone.
In addition to earning prizes, we also have all kinds of cool events. This year, our summer reading theme is fantasy, which means we'll spend the summer
drinking tea with the Mad Hatter,
playing Quidditch with Harry Potter,
partying with princesses,
training at Camp Half-Blood, and you can too. To find out how you can participate, stop by the library or visit us online at burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. See you this summer!
Hello and welcome to your community calendar. First up, a former middle school teacher, now songwriter, singer, and storyteller, is coming to perform in Burlington. On Tuesday, July 25th, from 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m., the Burlington Public Library is having Steve Blunt of Steve Blunt's Music come perform. Steve Blunt is a songwriter and musician who's been writing songs since the mid-90s. Steve's songs bring laughter to kids and their families in his performances. Everyone is welcome and the event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Next, happy birthday to the boy who lived. On Monday, July 31st, from 7 to 8 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is celebrating Harry Potter's birthday. Come celebrate another year of Harry Potter with games, activities, and of course, birthday cake. The event is for kids who are entering grades 6th through 12. No registration is necessary and the event is free. For more info, visit burlington.org or call 781-270-1690. Finally, are you looking to spend a day on a quiet island? On Saturday, August 5th, the Burlington Rec Department is having a day trip to Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is rich in history and a favorite summer haven for many notables over the years. The day trip includes a round-trip ferry, a 90-minute island tour, and free time for lunch on your own, with time for shopping and browsing. Everyone is welcome, and the cost of the trip is $99 per person. Pre-registration is required. For more info and to register, visit burlingtonrecreation.org or call 781-270-1695. This has been your community calendar. I'm Ian Casiola. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, gentlemen. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo is a bit of nostalgia for two Burlington natives who have left town. It was sent in by Christy Smythe and shows the sign for Rahanis Park. Christy said that her and her sister grew up in town but now live in California. On a recent trip back home, her sister Alicia was showing her two young daughters the sights and snapped this photo. Thanks for the photo, Christy. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of something you see around town, the weather outside your door, or even photos of your family members and pets. Whatever you think is interesting and would like to share. Email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line, Photo of the Week. Well, that's it for this week's edition of BNEWS Weekly. Have a great week. I'm Linda McNamee. See you around town.